So I just wanted to say very briefly, because I think we've seen a lot of things, and this is more about what's to come. I think most of you are aware that we were very lucky. We have a relationship with a company and technology from Netherlands. They developed the first robotic eye surgical system in ophthalmology, and that is not a small feat. In fact, they already have done about 40 cases. Most of them in the United Kingdom and also in Netherlands. Why is it a big deal? Because there's a lot of robotic systems out there currently being used in multi-billion-dollar companies, and their precision is about 1 millimeter or so in order to go inside the bowel or somewhere else to do robotic surgery. For the eye, though, 1 millimeter is a lot of mileage, and so that high precision surgery goes down to 5 microns. The best precision of probably the best surgeon, like Dr. Gentili, is probably 100 microns around it, but robotically you can go down to 5. And you can start doing things like cannulating veins, doing subretinal injections. But it's really great. We got a grant, and it's about $1 million system. We're actually looking forward to having it here. It's going to start here somewhere in about 6-7 months. To bring the first time robotic surgery to ophthalmology in the US. That is it's a system that just got CE marked, so it's actually approved in Europe. Again, a lot of good work with Mount Sinai Innovation Partners too, and we're actually trying to even work with the company to see how we can help them, even from Netherlands, to associate and even transition them more to the US, where the fundraising is a little easier and helping them in that respect. And Chris is working with me on that. So again, the solution is clear. I mean, every time you make something better in healthcare and you improve the precision, especially in ophthalmology, it's a major advancement. But it's not trivial, because nobody pays for better necessarily. You can do, like we say, you can do a capsulotomy with a gold-plated needle or scissors. Nobody's going to pay you for that. So there is a lot of thinking about how to position that, because just because you can do something so much more precise and even with better outcomes, doesn't mean people are going to fork out 5 times more money for that surgery. So I think a lot of thinking is going, especially in ophthalmology, where we have cheapened our technology quite a bit. I mean, an intraocular lens implant today, a monofocal, a regular one, is like $50. You're giving somebody vision, and you're putting it in, maybe 100. But again, we're competing with that. So when you get into these robotic systems, it has to be very thoughtful of how you can position, just like anything else. So we're doing a lot of thinking about that. And right now the system can do, and has been tested, and it's really been CE marked for retinal surgery. It always starts in the retina for some reason. You guys get the best tech. But I think what we really appreciate is opportunities outside retina. And I think Gautam, I want to have him talk a little bit about dovetail into this system of what we think and how we want to really expand the application once we have it here. So Gautam, you want to talk about PRECEYES?
Thank you, Sean. So it's a great intro to.
No, we probably don't have time.
Yeah. Okay.
But basically, this is the system, and you can see, just for people, these are those arms where you really go into the eye with the needle, and here you can have a retractor, or you can have a manipulator, and literally you have a little, I don't know if we see it here, or like here, you have this little toggle where you manipulate everything, and it's amazing how you can have a big excursion of your hand, and it translates into very small movements inside the eye. So it's really increasing the precision of intervention dramatically.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I mean, it takes away any hand tremor, and it's just translating your normal hand movement, like a joystick, to doing the surgery in the eye. And as you can see, here's one of the founders, his other hand is still in the eye, and over here as well, the graphic you can see. So you still have a hand in the eye. Some of the other devices I've seen, like the Da Vinci robot, I mean, you're completely sitting in another corner away from the patient. Here you actually still have tactile feedback. So this is something that's pretty exciting. Sean mentioned about how it's been pioneered and vitreoretinal surgery has already been used. to start this here in doing it for anterior segment surgery, so cataract surgery and glaucoma surgery ideally. So, we identified, the femtosecond laser has started to gain a lot of popularity among cataract surgeons. It's garnered part of the refractive market. It's a premium market, so as Sean pointed out, you can't just do something better. You have to find something more about it that people are going to want to pay you for. Some of the things we've found with femtosecond laser, however, is there are some contraindications that aren't too uncommon, such as patients that have a small pupil. They have any opacities or scarring. If the patient's moving around, the laser will stop. And then a patient that can't dock or kind of fit into the laser, such as maybe a child, maybe a patient with a deep orbit, deep set eyes, or patients that have kind of narrow palpebral fissures, so the space between the eyelids. So for those patients, there's kind of no real option for them. And then microinvasive glaucoma surgery, MIGS, is a surgery that's becoming more common, especially in combination with cataract surgery, because it offers potential earlier treatments for glaucoma surgery, which have typically been reserved for patients that are really advanced and they're on the verge of going blind. But even that faces some issues with failure to implant the device. You got to get it right into the exact place that you're trying to go, and sometimes you just can't do it and you give up. Sometimes you do it, but it's kind of halfway and it's hanging out and it's poorly implanted. And then sometimes you cause so much damage from trying to implant it that there's inflammation after the surgery, and the patients, you did all this and it doesn't really work afterwards. So what was the point? So, again, as we mentioned, the PRECEYES ophthalmic microsurgical platform will help us get this kind of precision. And so we're looking to adapt it for that. This will hopefully really open up opportunities in the complex cataract surgery space, and maybe for producing a capsulotomy, and maybe even LRIs, and then really opening up some high precision microinvasive glaucoma surgery. So this is some exciting stuff. And my next slide is really something completely different. It's a different subject altogether. And we talked about this might be, to underscore the point of this meeting was to find innovators, like new people. It's exciting. We have some medical students here, and then we have, serial entrepreneurs. You don't have to have, a high-level degree necessarily to do it. You could just be in your early stages of your career or in training or at any point. And so what we thought to do was to really highlight how you go about doing that. And so, with the help of one of our own residents, Michael Chua, we put together some questions, polled the residents and trainees throughout the system in ophthalmology at Sinai and Pioneer, and they all gave us some feedback as to what are some of these unmet needs. They gave a long list and a lot of comments, but some of the most prominent ones were long wait times, poor medication and appointment adherence, having trouble with the different electronic systems or EMRs talking to each other, and then sick patients just needing better care coordination. Many of these things we kind of obviously intuitively have known, but this is for some people this is not known, and the residents are identifying, residents and fellows are identifying it. And they also pointed out that if we could just address these things, we could have better patient experience, fewer mistakes, patients could be triaged better, and who doesn't want better health outcomes for our patients? So this is clearly of some major significance, and the way to get this going is to just start coming up with possible solutions, get connected to resources, counseling advice. MSIP is an option, and this type of event today where we can provide advice and help you kind of get your project going. Something simple like to address the long wait time. Maybe you try to identify the bottleneck and optimize the provider-patient ratio. Could be low tech. Maybe it's just as simple as a clipboard. The patients sign into at every station, at the visual field part, the refraction part, and then you just clock them and then you track how long, where's the bottleneck. Could be high tech. Maybe they have an RFID and then you have a software platform that's tracking all of that, and maybe thrown some AI, and now you've created a Google Maps version of your clinic workflow. Whatever, I mean, there's different ways of doing this. Maybe you want to incentivize or penalize your patients by giving them discounts in their premium for their insurance if they take their medications or they come to their appointments. And then, to address sick patients who need better care, maybe what you could do is you have some third-party platform that can help all the different EMRs or the different software talk to each other. Or maybe it just simply helps to track what the patient's PCP, who the patient's PCP is, and it updates them as to the progress of their care. So bottom line is, I threw out these random ideas. I mean, I literally just pulled them out of my head, not like, last week. So it's not something that's very hard. Anybody can come up with this, and just getting connected to the right resources and getting the ball rolling.